Hello, hello, my lovely Aquariuses, Aquarians. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be doing your weekly reading for February 26th through March 10th. Let's go ahead and start pulling your cards here. We got week 1. Let's put week 2. Okay, so right off the bat, a lot of readings for this week have had this card here. Your first card, Aquarius, is the Four of Swords. A lot of the themes for pretty much all of the other signs for this week have been about taking rest. We're going through a really big transitional time where a lot of us have been putting in hard work and growing ourselves, growing our businesses, growing things outside of growing and expanding our minds into new ideas or possibilities. And with this growth can sometimes come growing pains. A lot of times growth means that we have to take time to rest and recuperate so that we have the energy for this growth process. And almost every single reading for this week has had some form of needing to take a rest, needing to take a moment to relax here at the end of February to the beginning of March, because we have been going through it. We have been going through some massive growth, and we need to take some rest because there's still more work to be done. And we need to make sure that we are well rested so that we can show up 100% in the rest of what we need to do. So, Aquarius, let's go ahead and jump into it. Your first card for February 26th on Monday is the Four of Swords. And as we were saying, this is rest. This is healing after a painful time and transition. Aquarius, you just had Pluto move into the sign of Aquarius. It's going to retrograde back out for a little bit of this year and then station fully direct in your sign of Aquarius in November. And it's going to be there for quite a good amount of time. This is a major transitional period. This is a major, big change in not just your energy, but the energy of the rest of the world. Now, I am not a professional astrologer. I am just into it for small hobbyist stuff for myself. I do not know that much about astrology, so take my astrology stuff with a grain of salt. But the Four of Swords, you have been through a lot, Aquarius. There is a definite need for you to take a rest. And especially on this Monday, the 26th, you need to take, I know it's the beginning of the week and we can often find ourselves wanting to get started on all of our projects, wanting to put in all of this effort so that we can get going and set ourselves up good for this week. But I feel as though what you need to prioritize on the 26th for you, Aquarius, is your rest and recuperation. Because like I said, there's going to be a lot more work to be done and you need to be well rested so that you can actually show up in your full energy for the rest of what's going on here. Your next card here, Aquarius, for Tuesday the 27th is the Knight of Swords in reverse. Now, Aquarius, with the Knight of Swords in reverse, this can often signal that you are making decisions without quite thinking through 100% of the consequences. This can, oftentimes Knights can kind of show up as other people within our reading, but Aquarius, you are an air sign and swords are associated with air energy. And so Aquarius, I feel like this Knight of Swords could be showing up as your energy at this time of rushing in without really thinking things through. It may be a result of your overtiredness, your need to rest from that Four of Swords here. And because of your lack of rest, you may be unable to think things through clearly at this time. You may find that you are making impulsive decisions that you maybe wouldn't normally make. I almost feel like you're making decisions with the effort of just getting it out of the way, getting it off of your plate. And so you're making it impulsively in a fast way, trying to clear your workload a little bit. And you're not really giving your decisions the attention, the proper attention that they need in order to make sure that you're making the right choice moving forward. So just be cautious with this Knight of Swords energy that you are thinking things through, that you're taking the time to do your due diligence and to really give your decisions the attention that they need to make sure that you're making choices from a good place. On Wednesday, you move into the Five of Swords in reverse. And this is taking a step back from conflict. So this could be conflicting energy within yourself, trying to figure out where to put your time and energy, your resources, trying to figure out, what you're supposed to be doing at this time. So this could be you taking a step back from that internal conflict. It also, what I feel like for some of you, if you're making impulsive choices with that Knight of Swords in reverse on Tuesday, the Five of Swords in reverse on Wednesday is saying that you may come to some unintended consequences of this action. Maybe you made some impulsive choices and now you are being reprimanded for them in some way, and you are kind of washing your hands of the responsibility a little bit. What I'm seeing is, for some of you, it's going to be a work thing. Maybe you made an impulsive decision at work, or not even an impulsive one. You made a quick decision using your intelligence and your will at that time. You made a executive decision with something, and you may be receiving some backlash with your decision on this Five of Swords in reverse. And Aquarius, of course, you are the only one who's going to know your situation 100%. You're the only one who's going to know whether or not what happened was actually, within your wheelhouse, or whether it was something that you actually need to accept fault or apologize for. Of course, it's all going to be based on you and your personal, individual experience. However, the Five of Swords in reverse is saying that there's going to be some conflict coming your way, Aquarius, and you want nothing to do with it. You're distancing yourself from it as much as possible, which is good. Protect your peace there. Aquarius, on Thursday, you move to the Magician card. So, an interesting change. We're moving away from this, this sense of conflict and unintended consequences. And the Magician card says that instead you are focusing on your influence, the things that you do have control over at this time. The Magician is a person who can turn something into a different thing. Water into wine, rocks into gold, whatever it is. The Magician is someone who can alchemize. They can transition things from one energy to another. They can take something that's meant to be poison and turn it into a medicine, things like that. So the Magician is you working your magic, you working this ability within yourself to take something that maybe doesn't seem as useful or as purposeful and turning it into something that's actually a really great tool for yourself. Being focused on the things that you do have influence over. So Aquarius, within conflict, within the workplace, or even with other people that you're dealing with, you only have control over yourself and your own actions. You are the only one who can control what you say and what you do, and influencing your control, choosing to focus on the part that you play individually and not being worried about the opinions or criticisms of other people. Now, Aquarius, on Friday we move to the Star card in reverse. And this is actually your card, Aquarius. In the Major Arcana, the Star card is the card that is associated with Aquarius, the sign. The Star card is about looking and finding hope towards something after a big event. This is the card that comes in the tarot in the Major Arcana right after the Tower moment. So this is picking up the pieces, learning to heal after something has shaken us to our very core and our foundations. Sometimes we find that we feel as though we've been left in the dark a little bit, and the star is that guiding light that helps get you through that tough time. And with this card being in reverse, Aquarius, a lot of you could be finding it difficult to connect with this piece of yourself. You may feel as though you are disconnected from your highest self or your highest expression of yourself at this time. You may find that, even though you are focusing on your ability, your things that you have influence over, you may find that you are still, in a way, disconnected from your true self. You're making decisions based off of what maybe in a logical mind sounds like the best choices, but I don't think it's necessarily choices that truly reflect who you are and what you want to be doing, Aquarius. And the Star card in reverse is saying, Aquarius, you need to find some time to reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your inner self, maybe do some meditation, focus on something that you love to do, and get away from this other confusing energy from other people about what you should or should not be doing. Get into your own space, follow your own path, listen to your own voice, and find and reconnect with this star, this guiding light that is you internally, Aquarius. Saturday here, Aquarius, you move to the Six of Wands in reverse. Part of you is trying to make something. You're trying to, control your influence over one thing. There is conflict and rest and stuff needing to happen. And the Six of Wands in reverse, Aquarius, is saying that a part of you feels as though you're not doing it right, that you are losing or not being victorious in this part of your life. I almost feel this is like a feeling of failure or a fear of failure. So maybe being afraid to do something because of a perceived sense of failure. But for a lot of you, this is just that sensation of not being able to catch a break, not being able to find a win. Like you've been trying all these different things and it feels like you can't do anything right. Like no matter what you do, it seems to be the wrong decision and you can't quite figure out why, Aquarius. Why things feel like they are so wrong, even though maybe in the initial moment when you thought of it, it seemed like it was a good idea at the time. And you're finding it has unintended consequences that, just make it seem as though you can't do anything right within your own mind. Part of remedying that feeling is going to be connecting with yourself. Because if you can connect with yourself, if you can rekindle that inner light, that inner guiding fire for yourself, Aquarius, it's going to make these things a little bit clearer for you because you'll have an actual guide, you'll have an actual basis for where to navigate yourself a little bit. You won't be as tempted into making choices outside of this guiding force within yourself. For the end of week 1 here, Aquarius, you end Sunday with the Three of Cups in reverse. So some of you need to be aware of the possibility of arguments within your relationships. This can signal discord within a partnership or not seeing eye to eye with your partner because of maybe somebody's outside opinion about things. So if you are in a partnership or a relationship, not just an emotional one, but your close friendships, family members, things like that, you need to be aware of the possibility for discord. I feel like Aquarius, a lot of this just has this feeling of like you can't do anything right. And so other than just not feeling as though you can't do anything right, this Three of Cups is almost kind of like the people around you further dogging on you with that energy. Like, kind of pushes you more into that energy of I can't do anything right, and now I've messed up my friendship or I created some conflict within my relationship. And Aquarius, I feel for you. I feel bad that you're going through all of this challenging mess at this time. Let's move on to week 2 because we move on Sunday from the Three of Cups in reverse, from that energy of, can't do anything right. We move on to your next week here on Monday with the 10 of Cups. So something changes here this week, or at least something here allows you to feel connected with the things that you love, the things that bring you happiness. The 10 of Cups is a card oftentimes of, starting a family, realizing your happiness, having the perfect job, perfect partnership, perfect, whatever the case may be. The 10 of Cups is kind of like that dream life that you have for yourself of, partnered 2.5 kids and a dog and, the perfect house and things are good. That is what this 10 of Cups is. It's you being connected with this energy of this emotional abundance, of this happiness. Like you are living a dream life that years ago you may have only just wished for, and now you're actually finding yourself living this dream life. And so this carries a sense of gratitude with it, Aquarius. Carries a sense of gratitude for, even though things are challenging, even though you feel as though you can't do anything right, this 10 of Cups is kind of like that reminder that comes in that gives you that second wind, that lets you know like, hey, well, things may be a little bit difficult now. Well, you may be struggling with the feeling of not being able to do anything right. You have done something right because this 10 of Cups comes in and reminds you of the places where you have made good progress, where you have made these major changes and brought yourself to this dream life that, like we said, you may have only once dreamed about a couple years ago. You look back and you see yourself in a place that you never could have imagined that you would be in, with a good job, a good partner, whatever the case is, living your dream life, doing your dream job. That 10 of Cups is, that reminder of that piece of happiness that you have worked and obtained. And it gives you kind of this second wind for the rest of this week to practice gratitude, feel grateful for the things that you do have. Then we move on to Tuesday here, Aquarius. You have the Justice card. So things are going to, on this Tuesday, reach a point of alignment. The Justice card is things being rebalanced. So this could be people that have wronged you receiving some sort of karma for their actions. This is also often when we realize that this is often when we receive some energy or things that we have given. This is when we receive back from the energy. It's the rebalancing of the scales. So if you've been putting really, really hard into a specific aspect of your life, this is the rebalancing of the scales where some of you are going to be approaching things on a more balanced perspective, and others are going to be receiving a little bit of that return from your emotional investments, because this Justice card is coming in to right the wrongs. It's going to rebalance the things that are going on. So Aquarius, I feel like we were saying, this first week is that perspective of, feeling as though you can do nothing right. Then that 10 of Cups comes in on Monday and reminds you can do stuff right, because obviously you are living in an aspect of your happiness that years ago you may have never even imagined for yourself. And that helps you to rebalance your views. It allows you to rebalance the way that you've been thinking about things. This Justice card feels like, you're being moved away from that perspective of this failed victory. You're recognizing what you do have. And this Justice card allows you to move forward through the week with a little bit more confidence in yourself about how you've been handling things. Because like we said, you just had Pluto move into your sign, and it's going to be there for a while. So there's going to be a lot of rebalancing, reconfiguration energy going on for you. There's going to be a lot of changes coming up. Wednesday here, Aquarius, you move to the 7 of Pentacles. So this is looking back on your progress. This is looking and admiring the fruits of your labor. When you look at this card, I'm bringing this card close to you so you can see it. When you see this card, you see that this person has a watering can, and they're watering this tree to get the fruit from it. They're putting in something, giving to this tree their own energy and their own pieces of it in order to see a harvest. They're nurturing, taking the time to grow and care for this thing. So Aquarius, with the 7 of Pentacles, you could be receiving some sort of harvest from whatever you've been putting into at this time. But this is also more of that reflection. I feel like this is you reflecting on your hard work, reflecting on the work that you have done. Even if you haven't quite achieved this thing that you're working towards, you are able to at least look back and recognize the work that you've done to get to this point. And you're seeing some sort of return, some sort of balance from it. Aquarius, let's talk about your next 2 cards here, because their energies are somewhat related here. You have on Thursday the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and Friday the 9 of Pentacles. These cards are both about abundance in certain aspects, right? The 6 of Pentacles in reverse is feeling as though you don't have enough to go around. It's sometimes this feeling of greed, of us feeling greedy with our resources, our finances, or trying to hold on super tightly to everything around us and not giving to other people or things that maybe we could spare a little bit of time or energy towards. It's this greed of feeling as though you don't have enough to share, even though the 9 of Pentacles says that you are abundant. It may not be so much greed for the 6 of Pentacles in reverse as it is being cautious about who you share your abundance with. Because that 9 of Pentacles is stability. It is having enough to go around and being able to allocate how much you're giving in certain places. In the traditional Rider-Waite, there's a person on this card who has 3 pentacles on one side and 6 on the other. And it's meant to say that, they have more than enough to hang on to for themselves. In fact, they keep the vast majority of it for themselves. And they still have plenty to go around. They have plenty to share, plenty to be able to use for the things that they want. And so I feel like the 6 of Pentacles for some of you can be this feeling of greed, as though you need more than what you really have, or being very, very stingy about how you are choosing to spend your resources, or For some of you, it's also going to be a need to be careful about who you are sharing your resources with. Even though you are full of abundance, it doesn't mean that you have to share it with other people. It feels good to share with other people, and it feels good to help take care of others, especially when they're in need. But we also have to be cautious that we're not doing it that we're not sharing from a place of expectation, and that we're not over giving to people who maybe aren't going to value what we give them. You know, the energy vampires, or the people that want to take from us and continue to take and never give back. So, you know, there is that air of caution, and of course a couple different options depending on what your particular situation is. Saturday here, Aquarius, you move to the Moon card. And this card it's always felt very similar to the Star card, in that it is following that guiding light. It is listening to the input of the moon. It's listening to the wisdom that is being given to you. This card, when you look at it, there's an iceberg. There's a couple icebergs that are on this card. And the iceberg represents the deep emotional depth. The iceberg, they say you only see the top 10% of it, and the other 90% of the bulk of the iceberg is under the water where you cannot see it. And so it kind of indicates this hidden depth that a lot of us have. You know, we have our personalities, we have the persona that we present to the world in that top 10%. But the other 90% of us is so deep and internal. And Aquarius, especially for you, this is a very deep internal feeling about yourself, a very deep internal dive that you're taking at this time to connect with yourself. So the Moon card, for some of you, this could be that attempt at reconnection with yourself from that star in reverse Friday the previous week. So Saturday of this week too here, you could very well be taking the time to take this deep dive and reconnect with yourself. You may find this sort of reconnection. For others, it's just about honoring this depth of yourself, honoring the idea that people aren't always going to know exactly what's going on with you, because 90% of what's happening is something that they can't see. And being okay with that, being okay with being misunderstood, because people are only getting a very small picture of what is really going on within you and what is really going on at this time within yourself. And Aquarius, we move on to your last card here, which is the Three of Pentacles in reverse for Sunday, March 10th. This card carries with it a piece of caution about making sure that you are balancing different pieces of your life. Usually I point out these three pentacles here as your personal life, your work life, and your family life. So you as a person or an individual outside of your family. Are you putting in too much to your family that you're neglecting yourself and your work? Are you putting in so much to your work that you're neglecting yourself and your family? Are you putting in so much to yourself that you're neglecting your work and your family? You know, there's many different ways that this pentacle, this triangle here could be unbalanced. And so it's making sure to take care of your energy. Sometimes I feel like, you know, we escape into one area of our life because we can be overwhelmed by the responsibilities of these other pieces. So this is a Sunday. This is a time that, you know, a lot of us are going to be off work on Sunday for rest. A lot of businesses are closed. Obviously, not everybody is off work on Sundays. A lot of us work jobs that do work on Sundays. So Sunday carries with it a caution of making sure that you are allocating your energy, your time, and your resources accordingly. Don't be neglecting these other aspects of your life. Don't be neglecting yourself. Don't neglect your family and your work by trying to put into one thing more than the others. Make sure that you are approaching things from a balanced perspective and taking care of things that need to be taken care of without, you know, trying to put out and put more energy into one piece than the others. So, Aquarius, that is your reading for February 26th through March 10th. There is a lot of this dealing with the internal struggles of how you feel about yourself, how you are showing up within your own life, and making sure that you are balancing your resources, not just your money resources, which is a big theme. You do have a lot of pentacle cards within your reading here. Not just reallocating your money resources, but also your time Time is the most valuable resource that you have because you can never get more of it. Time is currently passing, and choosing where you spend it is something you can never get back. You can't take it back. You know, if you lost all your money in a day, you could eventually build it back. But your time, you're never going to get back. It's your most valuable resource. So making sure that you're taking care of where you spend your money, where you spend your time, where you spend your energy. Making sure that you're allocating those resources accordingly and taking care of what needs to be taken care of. So anyway, Aquarius, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that this was able to help guide you in some way and provide you a little bit of insight into yourself and the things going on for you. Thank you for being here today, Aquarius, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.